Okay, hello everyone. Let me remove this starting soon banner. Okay, here I am. Hello. If you are not sure who I am Tyler T. I am part of the Atsign team, and I'm here to bring everyone another demo day. I think it has been many months since the last one, but I can assure you we are bringing them back. Let me bring up my slides here. Let's see. I should... Give me 1 second. Sorry. Hold on. Slideshow. And... Okay. Hakeem, can you let me know if my slides are displayed and the brand thing is down, the starting soon? Because I can no longer see the StreamYard.
Yeah, they're down. You're ready to go.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, welcome everyone to Atsign's Demo Day. We have 4 wonderful Flutter apps to show you today. One not being Flutter technically, but we'll give it the slide. So first, before we get into the amazing demos, first of all, welcome. We have a little bit of housekeeping to do. We have some rules. They're pretty easy rules to follow, I can admit. The first and most important rule is to have fun. We're here to be excited about what is being developed here. We are here to have fun. We're here to meet new people, get to learn about each other, get to learn about the great community. Please be kind and respectful to everyone, including yourself. Please don't say anything mean in the chat. Let's just have fun. Let's enjoy the demos. And if you have any questions, please, you can post them in the chat at any point. We will add them up onto the stream. If you have questions during the demos, feel free to post them and we will take note of them for you and then bring them up later. Any bad behavior will result in being kicked from the event. We do not want to do this because we love everyone and we want everyone to see these amazing demos. So please be on your best behavior with us. And after each demo, we will have a Q&A section. So if you'd like to save your questions for those sections, we do have some time allocated for it. Okay, so Atsign, what is Atsign and what is the app platform? What is any of this? Why are we doing this? So if you've used the internet, which I assume you're doing right now because you're watching this, you would understand how some of the architecture looks for the internet. You have the social apps, you have any shopping websites or apps, you have your banking details, you have your meetups for your work, anyone who works remotely, and you have all of your travel documentation. You have all of that information just being uploaded constantly. And you're putting all of this duplicate information like your name, address, phone number, email. You're just putting them on so many different platforms. And all of these platforms are just kind of using you. They're just taking all of your data from you. And you're just kind of giving it away. And at Atsign, we don't believe that this is the correct way that it should be because your data is yours. So what have we done? We have flipped the internet where all of these platforms, applications, they have to log in to you. And what does that mean? You have access, you give them permission to log into you. So if, let's say, you want to log into your bank, they have to ask you, hey, can we see this information that is yours? And depending on who it is, no, I don't really feel like it. Or maybe you have a text from someone you don't really like, and maybe it's a scammer, et cetera, et cetera. And we have flipped this whole architecture because your data should be yours and not other big companies. Oh, sorry. So let's introduce our first demo. Daria will be presenting this, a very wonderful student who is working part-time with us at Atsign. Daria, please join me up on stage.
Hi.
Hello, how are you doing today?
Not too bad. In between classes, I'm so excited to give the demo.
So take it away. The floor is yours.
Thank you. So with atBuzz, we're creating connections that automatically update in real time. And I'll demo that for you in just a sec, but let me give you some context as to why exactly we're doing this. So currently, there's 3 big ideas that current contacts app fail to realize. The first is that our lives are constantly changing. We make new friends, we move, we switch our numbers, we forget passwords. Honestly, more times than not, we're always in a state of change. The second is that we don't have the same relationships with everyone. I mean, we all have friends, but some of them are your friends and others are acquaintances. We all have families, but I sure don't tell my siblings everything that I tell my parents. And we all have some professional contacts, whether they be coworkers, suppliers, customers, you get the point. We have a whole bunch of different relationships. But key to this is that you share different information with different individuals, and some of that may even overlap. That's what's natural to us. The third biggest point is that keeping up with everyone and everything is hard. There's not enough LinkedIn posts, coffee chats, or even Facebook updates that could help make this easier. But besides these complexities, the way current apps are designed, it's your responsibility as the user to keep up with everyone. If we didn't find this fair, or honestly think that it made much sense, so we built atBuzz, where users are in charge of updating their own information and no one else's. And we made it so easy and fun to use that you think that's how it's always been. So let me share my screen. Is it up? Am I good to go? Yeah, cool. Okay, so for the sake of this demo, I made Lisa on the right side of my screen and Maria's on the left side. So at the bottom, you'll see my @signs. Feel free to add me and we'll figure out what information to share. But okay, so I'm just gonna demo a scenario that I've personally used in my life, and I live with a whole bunch of people. So for this sake, I'm gonna be Lisa, and this is my friend Snow Firmo, or call her Maria. So with Maria, I made my profile that's called Roommates. And in Roommates, I'm sharing information that obviously we would share between roommates, like our address, we have a house pin, our Wi-Fi password, our landlord's there, and even like the way that we pay our gas. And I'm sharing it currently with Jade, one of my other roommates, and Kim as well. But Maria just got added as a roommate. She's currently subletting. So let's add her to the list so she gets access to all the information. And you can see instant access by the notification. So now she knows that Progressive91, which is Lisa, has added her to this profile. And if we go down to Lisa, and Lisa, so in Lisa, you'll see that she's sharing roommates. And let's just say that, sometimes we forget our passwords and our Wi-Fi password changed. So instead of we love Wi-Fi 123, it's we love Wi-Fi 987, exclamation mark, to make it even more simpler. So if we save that, you'll see that it will update on Lisa's end. There you go, it updated. And it even told it that it updated. Another really cool feature is that you can see on Maria's side, you can see exactly what she's sharing with Lisa. So she's currently sharing some of her own profiles. For example, it turns out that Lisa's also her lab partner. So she's telling her, okay, well, this is our locker number, and just so you know, it's for this class. And a bunch of another one of her profiles that she decided to share that has to do more with school. So this is where she would control all those profiles, essentially. And she has quite a couple of them. She has her lab ones, her password ones, where she decides it's a great secure app, so you can keep all your passwords safely in there. And same thing with a couple of other profiles that she decided to have. And let's just say that now Lisa or Maria is moving out of the house and we no longer want her there. It's as easy to remove her as it was to add her. And now you'll see that Maria no longer has that profile for Maria associated to her because she's no longer part of the list. Yeah. So that's kind of how the app works in its whole. You can create profiles, obviously add your contacts, and share exactly who has information to what and what that information particularly is. And that's natural to how we're used to communicating in real life. You don't say the same things to the same people, just like you don't have the same relationships with everyone. So yeah, that's atBuzz in a couple of minutes. But feel free to download the app. It's on App Store and Android, and explore with it. Yeah. That's atBuzz.
Okay, am I back on track?
Yeah, you're back on share. Those
All
are the three
right.
that I had made earlier. But yeah.
Do we
There
have
you
any
go.
questions? I genuinely can't see if we have a question pulled up onto the screen, so you're gonna have to read them for me.
Yay. I see. It's just Barbara saying, "Very cool, great job, me." Looks like a fun app. It is. It's super cool. There's a whole bunch of information types that you could put to when you go in and create your profiles. So anything that you can imagine you ever want to tell someone, you'll definitely find it in there. Even down to your blood type, I think, is one of the fields. So you won't fall short on anything that you want to share.
Any more questions?
Yes, no.
I'm sorry.
That
I wish I
either
could see the chat.
It either means that I did a good job presenting. Can we do it using? So you actually use @signs. You add anybody's @sign who, I mean, you know, and that's how you share. The free ones are automatically generated. You can keep refreshing and find one that you liked, customize them. Tyler, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they all start at paid plans. But you can get free, randomly generated @signs. Like both of mine are, and there's quite a couple fun ones. Like, you'll refresh them. You're definitely gonna get a laugh at some of them. So just pick the one that you like most.
If you also want to get a custom one, you can go to atsign.com/go, and from there you can check out the dashboard. I think you're
Kevin
also able to. Oh, go ahead.
Kevin asked if his data is protected.
Well, is it, Daria?
I would bet my life.
Yes, atBuzz is built on the app platform, which is built on the app protocol, which means that end-to-end encrypted privacy is built in already. So we can ensure that it is safe and, what was the word? Protected.
Okay, so Google, I guess because you can't see the question, somebody asked how it's different from the Google Contact app. It's incredibly different. So when it comes to contact apps in general, you're in charge of updating or even entering anyone's information. So say I just met Tyler, I would need to ask him for his phone number, I would need to add it onto my phone, and God forbid Tyler changes it 2 months down the road, I would need to ask him again. But with atBuzz, you're only worried about yourself. I mean, who knows you better than yourself? Add in all your information and then you share it with people so that you get the chance to update it when the time comes. Or if you're no longer in contacts with whatever person, you can unshare that information. So you won't have any of those. I definitely have some notes on my phone of not even like a block list, just don't talk to this person anymore.
I see a question in the YouTube chat that says, what framework did you use? atBuzz was built on Flutter and Dart. So you could definitely check out Flutter. It's really, really great framework and SDK if you're not already familiar with it. All of our...
We also missed one other
go ahead.
question. Oh, sorry, no. If you're not, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, there you go. Another question was, are data actually stored on the backend and encrypted with some @sign protocol?
Yeah, did you want me to answer that one?
Yes.
Or not?
You're the
Okay,
person.
so every @sign, we also call them secondary servers, use their own, you can kind of call them their own database, but they're more so hives. And the only time that you use, let's say, I'm going to use this word very loosely, a central directory is the @directory. And the only time you use that is to find the address of another @sign or secondary server to send any information. So if I wanted to send my new number to Daria, then I would have to find her address from the @directory, and then we would have a whole acknowledgement network going, a whole process to ensure that Daria is Daria and I am me. And then that information will be sent securely, end-to-end encrypted, peer-to-peer, to Daria's atBuzz, and then update the information accordingly. let's see, what was the question? Stored on backend and encrypted. Yes, the encryption is RSA and AES. You can check out the documentation on that on docs.atsign.com if you'd like to learn more about what we're doing with public and private keys. I hope that answered the question.
But if you're super untechy like me and understood 20% of what Tyler was saying, basically just know that it's safe.
It
You
is
don't
safe.
have to
It is
where your
big
data's
safe.
going.
Those are big words, so that means the data is big safe.
Exactly.
Do you have any other questions?
Yeah, we did a great job. Oh, so then is all of your data stored locally on your machines?
Yes, for the most part. And the secondary server itself, by the way, just as an extension.
Your music selection was amazing, and either we did a great job at answering every question thoroughly.
I didn't pick the music for today. I have to give it. I have to give credit to Hakeem on this one. Oh, also to touch on the @sign a little bit more. Everyone gets their own private data server. That is a better way to put those words together, and a little bit simpler of an explanation as well. Which is why we call them secondary servers. Any more questions? Okay. Well, thank you so much, Daria, for presenting atBuzz. So, I'm not sure if my screen is up on stream, but up next we have AtKrypto, and we have two very amazing gentlemen presenting those today. We have Andy and Jan.
Okay, so hi everybody.
Hello everyone.
My name's Andy Sylvie, and I'm one of the founders from AtKrypto Inc. AtKrypto is the world's first blockchain platform for mobile and edge and IoT devices. And AtKrypto blockchain software is protecting the integrity of data at the edge.
And my name is Antuma. I'm one of the founders. And today we're going to give you a live demo of the world's first edge and mobile blockchain platform. And the world's first blockchain smartphone app.
And Tyler and colleagues, could you please make us big on the screen, because we wanted to show the demo with another camera on the phone, but we weren't able to do that. So we're going to have to kind of show our phones on the screen. So basically what we're going to show here is we're going to show a live demo, everybody. We're going to install AtKrypto, which is the world's first blockchain chat app for mobile phones. And we're going to show you a very interesting demo and how the software is working, what you're doing. So basically, we're now installing it. It's in the Play Store. You can download it from the Play Store and test it. It's installing on our phones. So I'm going to open it. I'm now going to set up the @sign, which I have with it.
So we have our @signs already set up, but you can activate your already existing @sign, or you can create a free one. So it's the onboarding is processing. Go. So now we're going to do a little bit of configuration, and the app is ready to use for use.
So Jan, would you like to go ahead and create a blockchain?
Absolutely. So I'm going to press the plus button. I'm just going to type the name of the blockchain. So here it is. So I have the name. I click the create button, and the blockchain is created. Sorry, you cannot see it properly. So when we open it up, you can see that there are no blocks and there are no members. So let's add a member. And we have add Andy. On Andy's side, we have add Meta. And watch what happens once I press the add member. So
watch my phone. we're looking for a notification there. I now have a notification. I've received a notification that Jan Tuma has invited me to join the blockchain. I go in my AtKrypto app to the invitations, and I'm now going to accept the invitation from Jan Tuma to join the blockchain which he named Delivery Van to Data Center. I'm clicking accept. I'm now going to click yes, and an interesting piece of magic is now going to happen on Jan's phone.
So I'll move it closer to the camera. And there it is. So you can see that there is a new member here at Meta. And we can now start. So there are no blocks created, and we can just send a message. Hello, Andy.
So
how
Jan
are you
is
doing?
going to create a message, and which is basically in our application is a block. He's adding a block to the blockchain. And since this is a blockchain, what's happening now is the block is being sent from Jan's instance of the blockchain to my instance of the blockchain on my phone. My phone is giving consensus for the block to be added to the chain. The block is then visible on Jan's phone, and then it will come up on my phone. There it is.
There.
Okay, now I'm going to reply to Jan. I'm going to add another block to the chain. So I say, hi, Jan, how are you? I add my block. My instance of AtKrypto is now contacting Jan's phone and asking Jan's phone to give the consensus for the block to be added to the phone. The block is now visible on my phone, and now it's come up on Jan's phone.
Yeah.
So Jan, would you like to send me another block?
I'll reply.
The app, by the way, also has a
I'm having
wallet. You can create
fantastic.
NFTs in the app.
Demo day.
You can transfer NFTs, exchange NFTs with your friends. You can create as many blockchains as you want. So we're now waiting for the block that Jan created to come up on both our phones for the consensus mechanism to complete successfully and work. So now we have the 3 blocks. And what we're going to show you now is something interesting. It's difficult the way we are here, but basically one of the characteristics of the blockchain is that every block has a hash. So if I click on the first block in the chain, we will see, let's try and get on the screen, you can see that it has a block hash. And each of the blocks in the chain, since this is the first block, it doesn't have a previous hash, it only has its hash. But then subsequent blocks in the chain, to protect and preserve the sequence of the blocks, they contain the hash of the previous block and the hash of their block. So this hash here ends with 5469. If I open the next block in the chain, it says the previous hash ends with 5469, and it gives the hash of this block. And you might be wondering why we called the blockchain Delivery Van to Data Center. And that's basically because, although we're not able to show with all the phones what we wanted to show you, basically one of the biggest use cases for the blockchain is for the protection of data between, for example, data centers and things, devices, smart, whatever, at the edge. And in this scenario, which we're demonstrating to you here, with a little bit of imagination, we can imagine that the AtKrypto blockchain is installed on a server in the data center of a delivery company, and an instance of the AtKrypto blockchain is installed in the delivery van. And therefore, in the instance of the blockchain in the data center, we can send a block to the van with a delivery instruction. So I'll send that block now with a delivery instruction, deliver to Apple.
And we're going to wait.
So the instruction is going to the van. And this is where the blockchain protection of the integrity of the data comes in, because the data is being sent across the blockchain. It's being protected by the consensus mechanism, which is stopping bad actors or malicious actors from coming in and trying to add records to the chain or modify records in the chain. It's immutable, meaning it cannot be modified or deleted. And there we have it. Jan, the van received the block.
And we're delivered the package.
This is how we are protecting the integrity of the data between the data center and the edge IoT smart device with the blockchain immutability, the blockchain consensus mechanism, and the blockchain hash sequence. Of course, this is built on the AT platform and the AT protocol. So therefore, we have the characteristics of the AT, the protection, the security of the AT platform, which is no open ports, 0 attack surfaces, end-to-end encryption, etc. So everybody, this is the end of the demo of the AtKrypto, the world's first blockchain application for smartphones. And does anybody have any questions?
All right. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Andy and Jan, I won't be able to read them because I'm presenting my screen. But if you see any pop up on screen, please feel free to read them out loud and answer.
Is there an API for this? Yes. That's part of the API is not there yet, but the plan is to have API access to the chain to read data from the chain or to add data to the chain. But that would mean that whoever has the API access would have to have an instance, have to be running an instance of the chain, and have an atsign, of course. But the intention is the enterprise. We're looking for the enterprise opportunities and protecting the data in the enterprise at the edge, between the edge and the data center with the blockchain. So APIs, of course, that's in the roadmap. Other devices working as the user, the miner, and also the validator. So we've created a blockchain software. The blockchain software is the core of the AtKrypto. In the scenario that we just demonstrated, we've built an app wrapper, a user interface, a user-friendly interface for creating blockchains with the AtKrypto core, and then connecting the blockchains between the different devices together. We don't have mining because this is a private blockchain, and so the instances of the blockchain, they trust each other. We don't need to use mining. Is more used in the Ethereum and in the Bitcoin, where the different nodes on the blockchain don't trust each other, and they have to have this complex mining mechanism to prove that they really did mine a block and to add the block to the chain. We use the atsigns, and we use what we call proof of trust. And basically, what was happening in the background was my phone was saying to Jan's phone, "I am at Meta. Do you trust me?" Jan's phone said, "Yes, I trust at Meta, and therefore I give consensus for the block to be added to the chain."
So the proof is built on the atsign protocol.
The proof of trust.
I see some questions in the YouTube chat. What is your long-term vision for the app?
Well, the app, we've built the app. So, number one, it is the world's first blockchain chat app. There are other, you can look on Google, there are other people saying they have a blockchain chat app, but they're using a blockchain in a cloud or a blockchain somewhere else or a branch of a blockchain. This is the world's first blockchain chat app where it's your own blockchain between you and the other devices that have installed the AtKrypto. Coming back to what's the long-term vision, the reason there's probably a use case and a commercial opportunity for the app itself, because you can create NFTs there, you can put NFTs in the wallet, you can share NFTs, you can transfer them between the blockchains, exchange them, etc. But we built the app because our vision is we are interested in the enterprise opportunity. And we wanted to use the app to showcase, to show and tell, and to prove that we could do what we said we wanted to do, which was build blockchains between mobile devices. Because we said, if you can solve the problems of building a blockchain, a private blockchain between two mobile devices, and make it as easy as we've made it, then building the same software in a enterprise data center where it's a trusted environment, trusted network, you have systems administrators to look after the software, will be a very, very much easier challenge to solve than we've solved here. And by solving this challenge, we've proved that we can then move on to the enterprise opportunity. And we also wanted to give something that people can put in their hands and they can see it, they can trust it, they can believe it, and it can stimulate their imagination. But nevertheless, it is the world's first blockchain chat app. So it is the most protected chat app in the world because of the protection that the blockchain brings.
I have another question. What are some other example applications of this? I think you gave a few.
Well, okay, let me just, Web3, enterprise, communications, protecting data. We have a list of potential use cases.
And then I think
so
I saw
it could
some
be
other...
because this is a private blockchain, this could be built into gaming, it could be built Web3 in the metaverse, so digitize and tokenize and make NFTs from any device on AtKrypto distributed ledgers, IoT and enterprise distributed ledgers for IoT, ESG, smart cities, smart vehicles, edge to insights. Application developers could use it to build decentralized finance, decentralized autonomous organizations, DApps, API accessible, etc. Communications, it could be used in, as we've shown with communications, it could be used between controlling drones, controlling swarms of drones, controlling anywhere where you want the highest form of protection available on the planet today. It could be used in gaming, esports, personal sensitive data, etc. So the use cases are many, many, many.
And we have another question on here. It's a little bit of a longer one. I understand that using hashing algo, the chat can hide the message. Can it also hide the multimedia like video and image? Can video of long length as an image of high quality they also hide it using blockchain.
I wouldn't use the word hide, but the app is built and has a built-in wallet. And when you have a chain, you have the option when you're adding a block to add a block that contains only text, or to add a block that contains a PDF or a picture or some kind of media. And the AtKrypto software creates a hash of that media, whatever it is, and gives it an identity, and makes that media into a unique item, such that if somebody else tried to upload the same picture, they wouldn't be able to, because there's already that picture on the chain which has been hashed and has an identity. Regarding video, I can't answer the question at the moment regarding length of video that could be added to the chain. We haven't got that far. Yes, it is. So we followed, Owen, that's a great question. And we followed the Atsign company. Basically, we've leveraged everything that they've taken care of for us. So they've taken care of the identity of the devices, the trust between the devices, the communication mechanism between the devices. And we have built this in Flutter and Dart as well. So we've also followed the Atsign's lead and built this in Google's languages. And I think we're also the first blockchain which is built in, or the first blockchain app which is built in Flutter and Dart as well.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's all the time we have for questions. Thank you so much, Andy and Jan. AtKrypto, I mean, I've seen AtKrypto grow since like when it was just the idea, and it's amazing to see how far it's really come. So, I mean, first of all, congratulations. And I'm looking forward to seeing what it will look like in the next few months.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let us go on to our next application, Atmosphere Pro, and the wonderful person behind demoing this one is going to be Tinashe. Please join me up on stream. Take it away.
Thanks. So hi everybody, I'm Tinashe, and I'm here to talk about Atmosphere Pro, which is an open source end-to-end encrypted file transfer app built by Atsign. So today, people are able to send files to each other in various ways, including email, text message, messaging apps, social media platforms, and file hosting services. These are all great ways of sending files. However, from a privacy perspective, there are a wide range of concerns. For example, with some of these, the data is not end-to-end encrypted, you don't own or have access to the encryption key, or your encryption key is stored on a server somewhere, meaning that some other entity out there could potentially access your files if they really wanted to. So this is where Atmosphere Pro comes in. It's available on iOS, macOS, Android, and Windows, and it addresses key file transfer concerns such as end-to-end encryption, file sharing up to multiple gigabytes worth of data at a time. You possess your own keys, and only you and your recipient can view any files transferred through the app. So why did we build Atmosphere Pro? We built this specific app primarily for two reasons. As mentioned earlier, we created the At platform, and as with any new open source technology, you need to really test it well, and you also need to provide samples and examples for people to be able to understand how it works and how they can use it. So we worked on this open source file transfer app to serve as a fully functioning app platform demo app. And the whole idea is that developers can download the app from the stores, try it on their devices, grab a copy of the code on GitHub, modify it, repurpose it, and also contribute to the project, all while learning how the app platform works. Now, we could have just gone with a bunch of sample methods with very little real world utility, but we felt that we may as well hit two birds with one stone by also providing a file transfer app that's free, private, secure, and easy to use. And we did this hoping that this would be also helpful to the privacy conscious community out there, people in vulnerable situations, and people like creatives who want to be able to transfer uncompressed files without compromising quality. Okay, so let's dive right into the demo. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so I've got two versions of the app running here. on the right, I have the mobile version, and on the left, I have the desktop version. So I'm onboarded as myself, Tinashe, on the phone. And then on the desktop, I'm at you. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add you to my contacts on my phone. So I'm just going to go here, create a new contact, type in the @ sign that I want to add, and hit add to contacts. And so now if I scroll down, there you are. So I'm going to go ahead and select you. And I'm going to send over just 2 images with a note. Aren't these pretty? And I will press send. So when I send, it'll tell me that it's encrypting these 2 files. And then once they've been encrypted, they will then be uploaded to FileBin, where they will sit for up to 7 days in their fully encrypted form. And then on this side, which is on the desktop, I get a notification. Now, my notifications are currently switched off because I didn't want anything weird popping up on my screen during the demo, but I would have got a notification on screen saying that I've received a file. And so I can go over to my transfer history, well, your transfer history, and I can see that Tinashe has sent 2 items here. So on my phone, I'm just going to go to my transfer history so we can see what happens with the status of the sent items. So if I say see, I can see that the 2 items have been delivered, but they haven't been downloaded yet. So I'll go ahead and download those. And again, it tells me what's happening. It's now downloaded and it's decrypting the files. And the 2 files have been downloaded. And here I can see the status changed immediately, and it shows that these have been downloaded and this transfer is complete. Now, on this side here, because Tinashe is not your contact, it gives you the option to add Tinashe from the transfer history. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Give myself a nickname. And then I'm just going to show how that works from the other side, from the desktop side. So I'm going to go home and then select my new contact. It's me. And also my good friend, Miss Tremendous. I'm going to send 2 contacts, 1 file here, which is this image. And then I'm just going to go home here and clear this. Hit send. And this is going to get sent over to me here, and then also to Miss Tremendous, who is another contact that I have on desktop. And so obviously it's going to take a while because it needs to encrypt this particular file for each individual who's going to receive it. So it's encrypted specifically for each recipient, meaning that it can only be decrypted by whoever is going to receive that file. And so we just wait for that to go across. And that is done. And then over here, I've got my notification to let me know that something has come in. So I'm going to go ahead to my received and see that I've definitely received something. Here, I'll check on the transfer history under sent. And it shows that I've sent this file to these 2 people and it's delivered to both of them. If I go ahead and download it on the mobile phone, the status will update here to let me know that one of the 2 people has downloaded it. That's me, and I can go ahead and look at that. Yep. Only your @ and the sender can see this image. Yep. And so that's kind of the basis of sending and receiving. It's very, very, very simple. There's also other things that you can do in here. You can create groups and kind of send stuff to groups. So if you were in like a work setting and you needed to send stuff to groups of people that you work with, it's very easy to just create groups. I've got a work group and I've got a testing group as well. You also have trusted senders. So if you add somebody to your trusted senders, It means anything that they send you will automatically download going forward, so you don't have to go in and click download. And once something is downloaded, it goes to your My Files folder, where all your received items will be, and they're categorized based on what type of file it is. And you can view them locally as well. You can delete them from here if you don't want them. Yeah, that's pretty much Atmosphere Pro in a nutshell. We do have a redesign that we're working on that will be available soon. And so that concludes this part of the demo. If we could just bring the slides back. Like I said, Atmosphere Pro is technically a demo app. So if you're a developer and you want to kind of tinker with it, you can access it on our GitHub by scanning the QR code, or by going to github.com/@Foundation/Atmosphere Pro. And if you want to get it on your devices, like I said, it's available in the stores. Just go in and type Atmosphere Pro and grab yourself a copy of it. And that's it. Are there any questions?
Yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. I'm keeping an eye out on the YouTube chat.
Okay, so first question is, how is it different from Apple AirDrop or Google Drive? I mean, they're also extremely secure. So with Apple AirDrop, it's specific to Apple devices. So you can only do Apple to Apple, and you have to be within a certain proximity of the person that you're transferring, whatever you're transferring to them. So that's how this differs, is that this is cross-platform, and you don't have to be on the same network or close to them to be able to send anything to them. And how it's different from Google Drive is that with Google Drive, you upload something onto Google Drive and you share a link or share access to that thing, which means if the link happens to get into the wrong hands, people can just see what that was and they can potentially download it. Whereas with this, it's specifically encrypted for the recipient whose phone or computer it's going to. And if it so happened to be intercepted on the way, it's kind of useless to whoever gets their hands on it, because they can't decrypt it. They just don't have the keys.
That was a pretty solid answer.
Thanks. The next question, how affordable is the Atmosphere Pro app? Well, the Atmosphere Pro app is very affordable because it's free. So yeah, you don't need to pay anything to use it. You can just download it and use it for free.
That's pretty affordable, if you ask me.
Yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable. What will be the file size limitation? Okay, so right now, we don't have like a set file size limitation. In our testing, we have tried it with as much as 5 gigabytes. And the only sort of limiting factor is your internet connection with regards to uploading that file to FileBin. And obviously, because it's being encrypted, it's gonna take a while. So 5 gigabytes, I can confirm, does work, but it will take a while. And as we are working on the app and obviously continuing to test it, we're looking to keep extending that file size limitation. Is the app open to open source contributions? Yes, it is. So if you head over to the GitHub that's on screen, feel free to work on it and submit your pull request, and our developers will look into it. And if it's great, it'll get merged. We're always looking for people to help us make this technology better, hence why it's open source.
Yep, exactly. Think we have time for one more question?
Yeah. What is the timeline on it coming to Linux? That's a tough question. So I cannot give you a timeline at the moment because the development team had been focused on the redesign and had kind of put the Linux part of it on pause for a while. So once the redesign is done in a few weeks, working on getting it ready for other platforms, we'll restart again. But I think if you follow us and keep up with us, you'll know when that's in the works or ready to go.
All right. Well, I think that is all the time we have. Thank you so much, Tina, for demoing Atmosphere Pro for us.
Great. Thanks, Tyler.
Okay. And let us now move on to our next demo, which is No Ports, brought to us by the creator of it as well, Colin Constable. Please join me up on stage.
Hey, Tyler.
How are you doing today, Colin?
I am good, although I had to change to another machine. So, yeah, who knows how well the demo is going to go. So,
the floor is yours.
Alrighty. Let me just share my screen, I guess, and then I probably won't be able to see anything. So, there we go. And share screen. Alrighty, hopefully you can see my screen. We are going to do a couple of things. When you look at our website, you've probably noticed that we're actually deeply into IoT, which means we're going to be going down to the command line and the ones and zeros with this demonstration. But this is sort of a high-level architecture of how people are using our technology for Internet of Things. They have an IoT device picking up data from IoT sensors and actually actuating IoT actuators. And it goes through all this infrastructure. And you can pass data essentially from a host to an IoT device. And as Tyler said earlier, without any IP ports open, so no attack surface on these IoT devices. And everything's end-to-end encrypted. So no VPNs, no firewalls needed. But if you do want to put a firewall or a router in, then you can have my favorite rule set, which is deny all. Which poses a problem. How am I supposed to get access to this IoT device? How am I supposed to be able to log into this device if everything's closed? So that's why we invented something called SSH no ports. And what we're going to do here is actually going to try and log into this IoT device from somewhere on the internet and then prove to you that this IoT device actually has no ports open. And then we're going to show you some data flowing and still with no ports open, which is sort of interesting. So let's do that. So we are on a machine on the cloud, and we can look at that and we can say, what's my IP address? Well, my IP address is this. And what I want to do is be able to send a message out to that remote device and say, please dial me back using the SSH protocol, which is end-to-end encrypted as well. This is the command. What it actually does behind the scenes is cut brand new cryptographic keys for SSH and sends them over. I'm saying this is my @sign, so I'm calling from this @sign. I want to call to this @sign, and this is the device I want to connect to. It's going to dial me back, and then I'm going to talk to it directly, and I should get an SSH prompt. There we go. I've got an SSH prompt on that remote device. You will see that this remote device is actually behind a firewall. Up here, it will tell you what the IP address is. So that's the IP address of that machine. So it definitely is behind a firewall. It's on a non-routable IP address. So 192.168.anything is not routable on the internet. In fact, probably this address is used at your home. This is how the internet works. There's networks that you can use at home that have got the same IP addresses, but they're not routable, so you can leave everyone can use them. But normally you wouldn't be able to log into this device because you wouldn't be able to see it on the internet. But using the @stack, you can. And yet this won't have any ports open, so we can actually run a port scan on this. So there's a rather neat testing tool called Nmap. It actually scans all the TCP ports. So let's do that. Let's scan all the TCP ports. There's 65,000 or so of those. So we'll scan them all. And this was the IP address. And we will scan it. It will take a second or two. And you can see there are no ports open. They're all closed. And yet I'm definitely logged into it. So that's what we mean by SSH no ports. We've now got a remote access session to a device that actually has no ports open. We go back to the diagram. So we've logged into this device. It's got no ports open, but it's also sending, it's getting data from here, and it's actually sending it over here. And let's see that live by looking at a couple of dashboards. That's actually picking up. These are the dashboards. So we have a dashboard here that's using something called Things Board, and you can see this is data coming from actually a radio transmitter in California. It's on top of a mountain, and these are things that the radio transmitter is doing at the moment. And it's also being sent to another backend at the same time, which is sort of unusual. And this is the one that's being fed by this machine. So we actually have got data coming into this machine, which has no ports open. And if we do tmux ls, we should see that session. There it is. And then we can connect to it. Tmux attach -t0. And we'll actually see the raw data that's coming in and out of this machine, which has no ports open, and it's going into this. So this is, you might be able to see the data here, 98, 100, this sort of stuff. So just to prove this is really live, there are no ports open yet, this data is flying. I'm going to stop the flow of data. I'm actually just going to kill that process. So now you'll see that there is no data coming through. So just proving that there is, this is not smoke and mirrors, this is real life. Now these guys might notice, so let's start it back up again. And you'll see that 99.94 get updated. This is the very long command that you have to use to get it running. This is it talking to MQTT, and there's some data. And there you see it's back up and running again. This is actually providing real-time data and creating alerts, but absolutely no attack service on that device. So with that, I'm going to drop the mic and hand it back to you, Tyler.
Thank you. I also need to reshare this screen because okay, there we go. Okay, that should be good. And then once the screen comes up, you will see all of the information about no ports again. Also, Colin, if there are any questions, I won't be able to see them, so please feel free to read them.
How are you able to stay productive with so many apps opened? I don't know. I just am. It's a great question. I actually had to change stuff. Now, this is a really cool question, Vladimir. I'm glad you asked it. So if I was going to open up Wireshark and examine the traffic that's tunneled the SSH session, what would you see? You would see a reverse SSH. So what's actually happening, we're using the AT infrastructure to send a brand new SSH key, a private key, to the remote machine, and then asking it to SSH back to my machine. So it's like an old-fashioned modem dial back. It's dialing back to my machine. And once it's dialed back, then I SSH down the SSH tunnel to localhost on the remote machine. So if you're going to run an SSH connection that way, and you wanted to run Wireshark, you would see essentially one SSH connection going from the remote machine to my machine. It'd also be encrypted with that brand new key. And every time you run SSH no ports, there's a brand new SSH key. So there's good luck at trying to encrypt that, but decrypt that, because it's going to be a new key every time. So that's all you see. But actually, what's happening is there's another SSH session going in the reverse connection, also using SSH within the SSH tunnel. The other question that's probably worth considering is, well, hang about, you did some app protocol stuff, and what happens if I could examine that? Well, app protocol runs on top of TLS, so it's encrypted once. But there is a facility in the SDK to actually dump the TLS key. So if you're initiating a connection, you can actually dump the TLS keys and actually look inside the TLS using those keys using Wireshark. But you'd still be out of luck, because you'd be able to see the verbs of the protocol, but the actual data would be encrypted with keys you haven't got. So even if you had the TLS keys, and you'd only have that if you were running it yourself, but even if you could break inside TLS, you actually have to break inside the AES encryption and the RSA encryption we use for the all the at protocol stuff. But you will be able to see the verbs. Congratulations. There's like 4 verbs that you'll be able to see when in that interaction, which is not going to help you at all either. So, yeah.
You know, Colin, I feel like I've seen you pull up Wireshark to prove SSH ports.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We've had some, should we say, the alphabet soup of government agencies around the world always want to look inside the TLS packets, and with help of the Dart SDK, you can actually dump those keys and see the verbs. So if you're, Vladimir, you're obviously somebody who would like to do that. You can definitely do that. Just set the option to dump the TLS keys, and you can see the raw app protocol in action, which is, I think, a lot of fun. But maybe it's just me. I think it's a lot of fun. Just in terms of where can you get this stuff? Where is it compatible? That's where it's all compatible. Pretty much everything. It does work on Windows, but it's a royal pain in the neck to try and get up and working. I have got it working. I wouldn't bother. It's just Windows gets in the way. Everything else works just fine. And we actually have a starter pack. If somebody wants to get started with this, we have a starter pack. Drop us a note, and we'll get you up with sort of 10 ad signs and get you up and running.
We have a question in the YouTube channel.
That's a good question, Jeremy. It's still in development, as with everything, right? So everything's in beta. We're at version 3 that just dropped over the weekend. It's not a lot of code because the SDK does all the hard work for you. It's maybe 300 lines of code. What takes more effort is actually trying to figure out what you need to do. The coding's the easy bit. Actually, sort of designing, how am I going to do this was actually way more difficult. So. Lots of drawing on scraps of paper and aha moments in the night got us there, but the actual coding didn't take long at all.
That is awesome. I wish I could say the same for my own projects.
The coding's the easy bit, normally.
I wish I could agree with that. Do we have any other questions? Anymore.
Thank you so much, guys. And Vladimir, drop me a note. I sense you would love to take a closer look. Happy to show you through the code as well. That'll be fun. When we're SSH part of the kernel, I don't think I would be part of the kernel. But that's very nice of you, Joe.
Okay, I think if there are no more questions, we can move on to the next demo. Thank you so much, Colin.
Thanks, Tyler. Good stuff. Thank you.
Woo! Okay, and I think... I think our slides are... Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I just realized we are out of time completely. And so there will be no more demos. So if you would like to stay connected with us, you can check us out at atsign.com, or you can scan these QR codes to keep up with Atsign and or AtKrypto. I highly recommend. If you can't scan it right now, you can just take like a screenshot or something, or this video will be posted afterwards on our YouTube channel, so you could always come back and rewatch. Are there any other final questions for us? Apologies for starting a little bit late today. Just a couple more things before we call it, though. We at Atsign have started a public crowdfunding on Republic, and if you would like to become an investor of a startup company, well, now is your chance. You can invest there on the QR code. You can check it out. We have all of our details, what Atsign is, all of our team members, how we're doing it, why we're doing it, etc. Please check it out. And also, it's a very close one. The deadline is tomorrow, but if you are interested in interning at Atsign, now is also the time. So if you want to be an investor and an intern, you can do both. If you can't scan the QR code, you can check it out at atsign.com/internships. So that is internship, plural, internships. And I think with that, that is all the time we have today. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. If you liked this and you would like to continue us doing these, like, subscribe, comment, all the stuff that the YouTubers say nowadays. All right. Well, that is all. Thank you so much, everyone. See you at the next demo day.